Today we're going to learn some of the halachas of Birkas Torah. The Torah brings us to be very careful with that bracha, and especially this bracha Birkas Torah is a sgula to have banim talmidei chachamim. Usually I don't bring stam sgulas unless it's in the Gemara or in the Rishonim. So it's brought in the Gemara, and the Torah brings it la halacha that's a sgula for banim talmidei chachamim. Okay, and women also have an obligation to say Birkas Torah. L'choira, you could say maybe they don't have a chiyuv to learn Torah. Why do they have to say Birkas Torah? So the Beis Yosef bring from the name of Sefer HaOgur that brings from the Maharil. There is 3 reasons why women have to say Birkas Torah. A, they have a chelek in Torah shebechsav. They're not allowed to learn, or there's no chelek in Torah shebal peh. But Torah shebechsav, they definitely have a chelek in it, so they have to say for Torah shebechsav. Second reason, he says, since the tefillah b'mokam hakorbanos, and they have chiyuv to daven, and they also during davening saying the tefillah of the korbanos, parshas of korbanos is brought in Seder HaTefillah, and that's part of Torah. They have to say over there Birkas Torah. And the third reason, he says, Kol Sheken, he says, the divrei asmak, that the women are mechuyev to learn even Torah Shebal Peh, to the halacha that have shaychus with them. Memele, with that, they have a shaychus to limud Torah, even Torah Shebal Peh, with the halacha that has shaychus with the women. Memele, they have to say Kriyas Torah. I just want to say, b'derech agav, that if a woman today would know all the halachas, no get a woman, she could be a huge Talmud Chacham. Okay. Then the Beis Yosef brings from the name of Sefer HaOgur that if somebody maharer b'divrei Torah, you're not saying anything, verbalizing anything, but you're thinking of divrei Torah, he says, lo tzorich levara Birkas Torah. You don't say bracha Birkas. Somebody gets up in the morning before he starts learning, he's thinking of Torah, it doesn't have to say Birkas Torah. He could learn behirur without saying anything. The reason for it, there's a machlekes in the Gemara and brachas between Ravina and Rav Chizda. If hirur considered to be like dibur or not, Ravina says it is kedibur. Rav Chizda says it's not kedibur. So the Tosfos brings a paskening like Rav Chizda that the hirur is lav kedibur domi. Memela, since it's not kedibur, you could maharer b'divrei Torah and you don't have to say Birkas Torah. And that's how also the Mechaber paskening Shulchan Aruch, that if you maharer in divrei Torah, you don't have to say Birkas Torah, and that's how most paskening. We're soon going to see that some don't pasken like this. The Beis Yosef also brings from the Arav Rabbeinu David Avudraham that he writes that if somebody in the morning before Birkas Torah wants to write divrei Torah, not speak right, he says that the Beis Yosef brings from the Avudraham that you mechuyev and say the bracha Birkas Torah. You cannot write divrei Torah without saying the bracha. The Beis Yosef brings 2 things that are contradictory. On one hand, he says the halacha is hamaharer b'divrei Torah. Think about it. You're not verbalizing it. You potter from says Birkas Torah. From another hand, he said if you're writing, you're not saying anything. You're just writing. You're mechuyev. What's the difference? It's maharer. So it's a big stirrer within the psak of the Beis Yosef, the Mechaber. So this question was asked by the Taz and the Gra, and the question is the same, but they come to 2 different conclusions. According to the Taz, he holds Taka Hirur is lav kedibur dami, and that's why Maharer Potter with divrei Torah. Why in writing he says you have to say Birkas Torah? Because sometimes he says when you write you're going to say a few words, so for that chashash, you might say a few words, you have to say Birkas Torah. However, he says, it shouldn't be brocha levatola, because you might not say anything. That's why he says, say a few psukim after Birkas Torah, which is, we'll do anyway, he mentioned, we'll say Birkas Koyanim, right after Birkas Torah. So that's the conclusion of the Taz, though, Hirur lav kedibur domi, and mitzad the Hirur, you would be potter. However, the Gra, he comes with a different conclusion. He says, Hirur kedibur domi. It says, says meaning what you're thinking is like dibur. That's why when you're writing, he says you have to say Birkas Torah, and when you're maharer also you in Birkas Torah. However, the Shevet HaLevi is more meilit on the psak of the Beis Yosef. He says that it's no contradiction. He says the hirhur, he says, is lav kedibur dami, and that's why you don't say Birkas Torah. And there's a raya, the hero love kedibur domi, the Tosas Paskan like Rav Chida. There's other rayas, he love kedibur domi. So why riding? He says you're mechuyev. It's not like the Taz only because you might say a few words. No, because when you ride, usually you're really thinking. It takes koyach hamachshava what you're going to write. So it's not just hirur; it's a really deeper learning. It's more iyun. For that, he says you mechuyev to say Birkas hatorah. So the conclusion is like this: L'maisa la'alocha, l'maisa by hirur of divrei Torah. If you don't say Birkas, if you get up in the morning, because maharan and divrei Torah before Birkas hatorah, riding you have to say Birkas hatorah before, so you should not start riding. Oh, unless the Taz bring himself, if you start riding someone else's without much thinking, he says, then you're not going to say this bracha because you're not really involved in the learning. But a real riding, with you involved in the learning, you understand that you have to say Birkas hatorah.